since you came, do provide your signature here.
An employment contract with Endfield? Seraph Directive? Who ordered this?
You did.
Can you talk?
The hub base is in dire straits. We've been attacked by the Angeloi, and we only managed to keep things from completely falling apart.
Are these the Angeloi? Where did they come from?
The Angeloi were already here when the first humans arrived at Talos 2. Compared to the humans, they seem to be more endemic to this planet. This is the Blight, or to put it in other words, this is how the Blight ruptures into the world. Many fear you, because your course of actions have them worried about their own fate. Some respect you, because your ultimate goal is to ensure that civilization survives and thrives. The rumbling Originium reactor is the heart of our civilization. The automated industry complex will be key to everything. With it, we will ultimately turn the tide.
That thing? I planted it?
We can only press onward and ever onward until we reach the northernmost point of this planet. A place that may very well be the end of our journey.
Speaking of which, how should I address you? Endministrator? Oracle? Perhaps I can just call you the Doctor.
Testing mic check. Cinnamon buns, cinnamon buns, cinnamon buns. Hello, hello, friendos. My name is Nez, and once again, welcome back to yet another one of our streams today. Today we got a lot to do, a lot to discuss, because we finally got some more Endfield content. Endfield is going to have its technical test this weekend. So, they've been revealing all sorts of new operators throughout their website, and today we're going to take a look at all of them, give our first impressions, read their bios, and just see what's up. Hello, hello, Siami Killer. Welcome, welcome, friendo. So, this is usually the part of the stream where I just share whatever's been going on in my personal life on the off stream, which has been just reading Lone Trail, because I just finished Lone Trail. And I got a lot of thoughts about that, but I'ma just say, I think it's one of the best written video game stories to come out this year. I'm not exaggerating about that. I played Octopath Traveler 2, I played Baldur's Gate 3, Phantom Liberty, I finished all of those, and I definitely think Lone Trail deserves to be among the top stories this year, along with all of those other great games. So yeah, I enjoyed Lone Trail. We'll have some spoilery discussions throughout this stream, and also maybe a more focused discussion, specifically going into Kelsey's Remnant skin. We talking spoilers? Not now. We're just gonna go through the Endfield stuff first, and then later on in the stream I'm gonna I'm gonna discuss Kelsey's skin. But I don't know when I'm gonna do my review for Lone Trail just yet. Okay, so let me just adjust my chair. Okie dokie. Let's get this intro for the YouTube video. Hello, friendos. My name is Nez. And today, we're going to be taking a look at all of the currently revealed operators for Arknights Endfield. The technical test for Endfield will take place starting this weekend. So if there's any new information that comes out of that, it won't be included here. But today we'll be checking out all 10 of the currently revealed operators, starting operators for Endfield, and see how it'll go. We'll give our first impressions, we'll read their bios, we'll judge their initial designs, and yeah, let's do it. So, we've got the Endministrator, the player character in Endfield. The Endministrator of Endfield Industries. Rumor claimed that the Endministrator showed up on multiple occasions whenever a crisis hits Endfield Industries or Talos 2, creating many legends and stories. The Endministrator remains an enigma to various factions on Talos 2. They are well aware that Endfield has a very special trump card in their hand, but that is all they know. So straight up, Endfield is already so much different compared to regular Arknights because we now have a faced player character. We now have a player character with their own face, no longer hiding underneath the Doctor's mask. Personally, I think the Doctor was something special to Arknights. It was a design in which many people could create their own original characters out of because of how flexible the Doctor's design was. I feel that the Endministrator has a very marketable approach to its design. Somewhere out there in Hypergriff, there's this market analyst that definitely calculated whether it would be better or not to have a faceless protagonist or these two gendered ones that we have. So, my initial impressions of the Endministrator is that they're kinda young. Not gonna lie, they're kinda young. And they're supposed to be the so-called administrator of the entire thing. The commander-in-chief, I guess. I'm assuming that. I'm assuming a lot of things. So maybe if I'm wrong, they'll change in the future, but they're a bit young for my taste. I always imagined the leader of an operation to be maybe a bit older. Hey yo, what's up, Spiff? Welcome, friendos. Were tissues involved in this process? What do you mean tissues? So judging the female administrator, I think her design's okay. We have the classic Arknights look of the layer beneath, and then we have the jacket as the layer on top. It's classic Arknights, but it's got that future flair that we'll see many of the Endfield operators all have, because there's been a lot of discourse with how the Endfield operators have been designed. Some people, like myself, would even go as far to say that they don't feel like Arknights. Hello, Case. Welcome to our stream. So will I pick male or female operator? Will I pick male or female administrator when I play? I'm probably gonna go with female because if you're gonna play a third-person action game, especially if it's anime styled, you're gonna be looking at your player character all the time, and I'd rather look at a female character than a male character. It's the same ethos of my Final Fantasy XIV character. You'll be looking at them all throughout playing the game, so might as well be, be attracted to the aesthetics. So far, We have the female character. She got that. Is that a bob cut? You're going male, but the female's really cute. Yeah. So far, the female character and the male character actually have a very noticeable size difference. The female character compared to the male one, her height stops around here. So the male character is actually kind of tall. So that's kind of weird. Personally, I find that kind of weird. If you're gonna make them tall, make them both tall. If you're gonna make them short kings and short queens, make them both short. The fact that they're different sizes is kind of weird for me. But I don't know. Maybe they might have character customization, but it doesn't seem like it. I don't know. Arknights is very well known for its skins. So since the Endministrator, or the quote-unquote Doctor, is going to be a playable character, maybe we might get skins for the Endministrator. Actually, no, that's probably going to be a guaranteed. We're guaranteed to get skins for the Endministrator. How customizable the characters would be, that's the spectrum we don't know yet. It's kind of fluffy variant of the bob cut, like the Genshin twins. Yeah. So just looking from the design, it hasn't actually changed from the first preview images that we got from Endfield like a year ago. It's still keeping the black and yellow color scheme that we saw from the original Endfield teasers. So that's that. At least the Doctor, the Endmin. I'm never gonna get used to saying Endmin. It sounds weird. It sounds wrong. Apparently Endmin is an English localization only thing. In other languages, they just call them the admin. So I'ma just call them the Doctor. It's a lot easier. Maybe there's an option in the game where you could like input that you're a previous Arknights player, so it'll allow you to change your nouns to Doctor instead of Endmin. It's kind of weird. It's weird to say it. It weirdly rolls off the tongue. But Callus is actually taller than Stell. HSR. I don't play HSR, so I wouldn't know. Is she even in the first trailer? No, we got some early preview images from before, and the design hasn't changed. No, the color scheme hasn't changed much. The Endmin wasn't revealed last year, but the color scheme of black and yellow was. That was the original color scheme of Enfield Industries. They changed it up somewhere along the pipeline, and now it's kind of similar to Rhodes Island. It's like white and light blue, and a lot of monotone shades. So that's a female character. She's wearing a turtleneck, and she has this thing. It's a science doohickey. We'll see a lot of these on the Endfield designs. They just have a bunch of futuristic science gizmos and doodads on their costumes that we don't know what's for. Hello, rival. Doctor after amnesia cured, become Endfield enemy. I don't know. We still don't know when this takes place in the timeline, and we have a lot to discuss, especially revolving Chen and Angelina. So they got this science doohickey. They got this. This is probably gonna be their PRTS. It looks like the PRTS. It's a watch that looks like it has the classic Arknights UI. Won't be staying long because it's 12 in the morning. It is also 12 in the morning for me. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. So we got this science doohickey right there. Don't know what that is. It's blue, it has blue lights. That's all we know. And I'm loving that there are textures on their jacket. It's kind of like a skirt in a way. And then tights, of course. We got them tights. 12 is not even morning anymore, it's midnight. So, we got the male character design. It's very similar to the female one, except he's just taller, he's wearing the same things, he's got that turtleneck, got that jacket, we got a better look at this science doohickey thing. What is this? Is that like a compass or some sort? We still don't know. Guess we'll find out in a few hours when people start streaming the technical beta. I'm not gonna be part of the technical beta because I didn't have a CN account to begin with. So, My recommendation is that you guys either go watch Kyo, because he got into the technical test, and maybe Dragon GJY, the module guy. So he's going to be streaming later today. So yeah, we got the Endministrator, the male one. His face is, it's pretty Kirito, not gonna lie. It's pretty basic, handsome anime boy. And then we got their mask. I'm wondering, when we get different kinds of skins, we could also get different masks for the Endbin. I guess we'll see. Give him eyeglasses, then he'll become MC from Persona 5. You're right, he does look like Joker. God damn, I'm never gonna unsee that. That's Joker right there. It's Joker. So yeah, we don't really know much about the Endmin as of now. This stream is going to have mild spoilers for Lone Trail, as I'm gonna bring up a few details. Not plot details, but definitely important drops from Lone Trail. So, the Endmin. If you guys are not caught up to Lone Trail yet, and don't want to hear mild lore drops, actually, I don't know what you guys consider as spoilers, so just be warned. I'm just gonna drop. I might just drop things, just because my train of thought will be going on and on. So the Endmin, we don't really know much about the Endmin from all of the promo materials, but from Lone Trail, we've started to get hints about an arc, and there needing to be an organization that unites Terra in order to build a quote-unquote arc, and there would be countries, and countries would all be trying to vie for power to become the quote-unquote administrator of that arc. So yeah, maybe because the Endministrator is only an English localized thing, that it doesn't fit one-to-one with what was in Lone Trail. But the term administrator itself is very important. It comes up in Lone Trail, so we already got some very, very concrete teases from that. Anyway, so we got Perlica. We got the new daughter of Endfield. This is our Amiya of Endfield. People have grown used to the gray skies of Talos 2, and certain sights are remembered no longer. What about you, Endministrator? Perlica is the supervisor of Endfield Industries, in charge of directing various operations according to plans of the Endfield leadership. She's capable of responding to various crises in a calm and decisive manner. However, Endfield often faces challenges that go beyond their expectations. Perlica often has to move from base to base, doing whatever she can to maintain order and keep things running. So off the bat, Perlica has that classic Arknights look. It's the safe Amiya look. It's definitely reminiscent of Amiya. Amiya has that sleeveless top plus miniskirt and tights plus her big jacket. This is sort of a reverse Amiya, where she has the one-piece dress and a smaller jacket on top. So far, originally, in the original teaser images for Endfield, we weren't sure what Perlica's race was. We thought she was a bird girl. Judging from her ears now, maybe she might actually be a cat girl, a feline. Or, you know, she might be a chimera, just like Amiya. Who knows? Who knows how much chimera tech has actually developed from Lone Trail all the way up to Endfield. But anyway, so we got the Endfield logo, an Endfield badge right here inside of her jacket. So the red and blue is kind of interesting. I don't know what that is for. There's a number 8 on top of the Endfield badge. So there are at least 7 more people with this Endfield badge. And I don't see this badge being worn by any of the other operators being shown here. So maybe there's 7 other people that are above Perlica in the chain of command of Endfield. Or, you know, the Endmen could be at number 1, but I don't see them wearing a badge. So far, judging from this design, it's very safe. It is definitely designed to elicit a familiar response. You definitely feel that this is our version of Amiya in Endfield. I don't have too much to say about the design. Judging from her personality, which we only know very little of aside from the stickers that they dropped today. They dropped some stickers showing off the personalities of Perlica and Chen. So Perlica's more like Rei than she is Asuka, if you get my drift. So yeah, she's probably a kudere, most likely. She has this thing. She has this, what is that? It's a doohickey. It's once again another science doohickey on these characters. She has this thing on her shoulder, don't know what that's for. She has a little tiny notebook. So apparently they still use paper and notebooks in Endfield. Paper is still useful technology that they use. Never mind, they might have paper plants. They might have set up paper plants on Talos too. So yeah, it's a pretty okay design. I don't have too much to say about it. We saw her bracelet glow in the teaser trailer. We don't know what that's for yet. Maybe it's for activating ultimates. Maybe it's an neuropathy monitoring device. But it doesn't look like the one that we know, which we'll see later on Angelina. So yeah, the bracelet, very interesting to note. Gotta farm paper on a wasteland planet? Okay. I don't know, maybe they brought scientists, maybe. They set up a paper plant and then they could produce notebooks just for Perlica. They made a paper plant just for her. While everyone else is using a digital notebook, she has paper. She might love the old things. Anyway, not much to say about Perlica. We'll probably learn more about her. Is this a bell she has on this badge? I'm not quite sure. Hello, Yander and Joy. You joined late. Did you miss the Lone Trail discussion? Nope. I am saving the Lone Trail discussion for later in the stream. Because maybe some people might not have gone through Lone Trail yet. I won't go specifically into all the nitty-gritty details yet. I'm not gonna review it. But I've already said that at the start of the stream, I think Lone Trail is one of the best written video game stories that we had this year. So I give it big praises. But after this, I'm gonna go into Kelsey's skin. I'm gonna go into Kelsey's skin because that has a shit ton to discuss. It has a lot of implications, especially regarding Endfield. And just expect throughout this entire stream, I might be dropping Lone Trail details just here and there. So expect the stream to be at least spoilery at a few points. Because I'm gonna be dropping some Lone Trail details just to give context to these characters. Anyway, that should be Perlica. Perlica is cute, but Amiya is better, very based. Not quite sure. I think there might be some waifu wars to be started with Amiya and Perlica. Oh, I can imagine the waifu wars now. Oh, Kelsey's skin. Mentioned anti-Virginia, maybe there's an neuropathy cure. Yep. Okay, so, moving on from Perlica, we have... Whoops, nope. Go back. We have Wulfgard. Landbreaker. I know that strength isn't everything, but in Talos 2 you can't live without it. As a young mercenary living in the fringes of civilization, Wulfgard is very familiar with the darkest aspects of humanity. Years of vagabond life also gave him a maturity that goes far beyond his age. A former member of the Landbreaker clan known as the Pack, Wulfgard can be a reliable and trustworthy friend. If you can earn his trust, however, that is no easy feat. So, Wulfgard. I have a lot of thoughts about Wulfgard. Most of them not positive. Honestly, I think Wulfgard is the worst designed revealed character that... I think Wulfgard is the worst designed character that they've revealed so far. I just think he radiates so much basic bitch isekai protagonist energy. Oh, he's a mercenary, but he has the heart of gold. And his name is Wulfgard because he's a lupo and he's a guard. Wow. Really? Really? Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this character. Not gonna lie. Arknights is now well known for the quality of their male knights characters. And Wulfgard is definitely on the bottom rung of everyone, including like 3-star male characters in Arknights. Some people find him hot. I don't find him hot. I think he's basic. He's got that Kagura Bachi face. And I even made a meme making fun of him. I made a meme making fun of him when he dropped of Wulfgard having so much like Kagura Bachi energy. I was the one that posted this meme. You think Wulfgard is the best manly character so far? Really? Really? Wait, really? 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 I think Lumen could beat Wulfgard in a fist fight. Really? Really? I think Courier can beat Wulfgard in a fist fight. Really? How much do I have to keep going? I think Midnight could beat Wulfgard in a fist fight. Really? Steward, come on. Come on. Be serious, chat. Be serious. Anyway, so Wulfgard, I'm not really a fan of his design. The mercenary, the edgy warrior in black with a heart of gold is a very overdone archetype. He's a fuckboy. He's a marketable male fuckboy that we have for general marketability in the gacha space. You need at least one of these for the basic bitches. And then maybe later on we could have our copium that will get more and more of the classic Arknights male characters that we've come to know and love. The old men, the big Bara furries, the Eldritch Shotas, all of those kinds of unique looking characters. But for now we have, Wulfgard. So as far as we know, he's a mercenary that belonged to the Landbreaker clan. He's a wolf boy. He's got a lot of knives. That's how you know that he's deadly. He's got 1, 2, 3 knives and he's holding another knife right there. Ansel Kappa. I don't know. I think Ansel could could beat Wulfgard. Come on. Maybe. I don't know. He's a merc after all. He's like Hoder. But Hoder is, I think comparing Wulfgard and Hoder is so, it's so insulting on Hoder's part. But yeah, he's got that lean body archetype. He's got that endomorphic archetype that doesn't have a lot of body fat percentage. To another male, one looks like a role medic to you. So he's got a lot of scars. That means he's tough. That means he got into a lot of fights. Yeah, because character design. So far, he's the only person that we've seen among all the revealed operators that has this red capsule. All the other operators, they have these yellow capsules that they brought along. I don't know what that's for. Maybe it's some sort of counter agent towards the Blight on Talos 2. But for some reason, the capsule that Wulfgard has is red. So there's that. And we saw in the teaser trailer, we saw that his ultimate involves him putting on this wolf mask. And then it glows red. And then he's edgy and shit. And I just can't take this character seriously. I'm so sorry. So yeah, he's gonna have a wolf mask. He's gonna be Batman. He's gonna be Talos 2 Batman. Yeah, some people are gonna love him, I guess. There are 200 plus characters in Arknights. I'm not a fan of all of them, so if someone's a fan of this, all the power to them. I'm not a fan. Even though he's a mercenary, he hates fighting, instead loves writing books. Truly a shame. Yeah. Okay, I have no more things to say about it. I don't know if he's wearing a jacket. He's wearing a... What is that? Is that a short sleeve? Okay, dude. It's a short sleeve jacket. I don't know about the fashion in the future, but okay, dude. Anyway, that should be Wulfgard. So, we have Xaihi, Order of the Steel Oath. The angels I know definitely look nothing like this. Very few people know about Xaihi's past. They only heard that she came from an isolated and mysterious place where people have an odd reverence for technology. Despite her appearances, the way that Xaihi talks and acts is hardly typical of a girl who grew up in a cloister. One must get used to her vast, seemingly trivial knowledge, as well as her tendency to jump from one strange topic to the next. Xaihi herself, however, is oblivious to these issues. So, just gonna say it straight up. I honestly think that Xaihi might be the best designed character out of all of the currently revealed operators for Endfield. I love this character's design. She's a new blue woman. New Endfield blue woman. And her design is very clean. So straight up, we know that she originally came from the Order of the Steel Oath. Just like the Landbreakers, it's going to be an Endfield unique faction to the game. Apparently, they seem to operate like an order of knights, similar to the knights in Kazimierz, but more of the actual army knights than the campaign knights. Now, is she a Sarkaz or is she a Sancta? That is the biggest question that we have about Xaihi. Well, the angels I know definitely look nothing like this. Judging from this line alone, I'm gonna speculate that she is in fact a Sancta. And judging from certain reveals that we get in Lone Trail, we already had confirmation, and I don't know, if you've been paying attention to Arknights, especially between the Sarkaz and the Sancta, you could put 2 and 2 together with a lot of context clues that the Sancta are basically Sarkaz that betrayed the Sarkaz race. They were T-Kaz that abandoned the Sarkaz for the law. So, I don't know if that's a spoiler to anyone. We've had so many hints of that throughout the entire year. It was basically confirmed in Lone Trail. But she has a tail. How could she be Sancta? Well, we don't know what happened to Laterano in between the events of Arknights up to Lonefield. Something happened to Laterano. Something happened to the law. Maybe she's a Vuver. Maybe she's a Lung or Draco. I don't know. This line is doing a lot of heavy lifting to make me speculate that she is Sancta. But Sancta in a T-Kaz kind of way. More specifically, she is T-Kaz. So that's what I think. That's my speculation. So judging from her design alone, she's got that futuristic maid look. I don't know what kind of religions they have in Endfield. Will they bring old world religions like the law to Endfield? Or will they make new ones? It's an Order of the Steel Oath. Maybe they worship weaponry and technology. We still don't know. We still don't quite know. But so far, I'm loving her design. There's a lot of circular patterns in it. Like we don't see it from this preview image, but she has these circular patterns repeating all throughout her lower skirt. She's a Chunibyo. She might be roleplaying a Sancta, but she's a Lung Vuver. Maybe. Maybe. So yeah, it is a very clean design. There's this one piece in the middle, and then she has the dress just fastened to the outside of it. She has these things, which are bags. I'm not sure what these bags are for. They have 2048 on them. So, I don't know what that means. 2048. The current year in Lone Trail is 1099. So, if this is the year where Endfield takes place 50 years after current Arknights. So, that might be something to think about. You know, because we have Angelina. Angelina does not look 50 years older. She looks more like a Genshin character than Arknights. Maybe because we haven't seen a lot of nun characters in Arknights. We had Spectre, but Spectre was more like a gothic nun. This is more a futuristic nun. Maybe she's a caster supporter. We saw in the trailer that she has a staff. So she's most likely a healer because we'll need a standard healer when the game starts. So she's probably going to be our healer. Very few people know about Xaihi's past, technology, reverence for technology. Oh, okay, there we go. So the Order of the Steel Oath has a reverence for technology. Okay, there we go. That's our confirmation. So she's probably gonna be another Kudere type character, like Rei. Yep, there's not a lot of Arknights energy from here. There's not a lot of Arknights energy, but I feel like this is the one I'm gravitating to the most. There's not a lot of Arknights energy because she's not wearing a jacket. Come on. I think we're just gravitating towards the big jackets to give us that Arknights energy. But honestly, I really like her design. It's very clean. She's got that exposed armpit. Apparently, a lot of the Endfield character designs are really into exposed armpits. So, based. Very based. Thank you, Lee Duke. Oh, that's another thing to mention. Most of the initial character designs that we've got so far were drawn by Lee Duke. Some of them aren't designed by Lee Duke, as we'll see later on. But most of these so far, all of them were redrawn by Lee Duke. You always thought that she had a scythe. Race is a huge Ling vibes, I don't know why. I don't think she's a Sui sibling, mainly because of the hands. All of the Sui siblings have very distinct hands with their chosen color. So you know a Sui sibling when you see them, just based on their hands. Armpits is okay, thanks Hypergriff, fully dressed without booba falling out of the screen. Yeah. Hello friendos, a lot of friendos today. Thank you all for stopping by to our character reveal discussion stream. There's no way she's a Farenmit? Yeah, I don't think so either. So anyway, just like Wulfgard, she has one of these capsules, but this time it's yellow. I'm definitely leaning towards the capsules being some sort of anti-agent towards the Blight on Talos 2. Or who knows, maybe it's related to her empathy. I don't know. Could be anything. You can see a little side booba there. Yeah. So, we got Xaihi. Not much to say left about that. I think it's very interesting that her horns are kind of crystally, kind of icy. Maybe she'll have some ice healing powers. Who knows? We got some accessorizing on her tail. Very cool. Thanks, Hypergriff. Also, she's got this triangle thing on her head. Don't know what that is. She's got this thing. Maybe it's an implant of some sort. Maybe it's just a tattoo. I'm leaning towards implant on her forehead. And that should be it. Just a tiny window there. Yeah. This is a window for the soul. It's a window for the soul. That should be Xaihi. Moving on, we have... Let me just adjust my chair. It's once again sinking. The horn reminds you of Eblana Ghost Mob. Eblana Ghost Mob? As in just Eblana? I don't think she's a Draco. Dracos have very significant importance in the world of Arknights. They are a race of elders, and I don't think Xaihi is that important of a character. But I don't know, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Who knows? But I think they'll save their Dracos for the really important characters. We know they saved their lung for a certain bubbly, goofy gal we'll get to later. But anyway, that should be Xaihi. And then we have Ember, who is also part of the Order of the Steel Oath. Give me an order, I'll do my best to see it done. Ember is a knight wandering in the north. She once served a military organization known as the Order of the Steel Oath. As an act of redemption, Ember has embarked upon the long, strenuous crusade and swore an oath to defeat 10,000 Agaloy and Blightmorphs. Before my personal crusade is done, I shall have no place to return to, nor have anyone whom I wish to see. So, Ember. She is definitely a knight. Now, what can we say about Ember? Well... yeah. Yeah. She's wearing a... what is that? She's wearing a combination between... what is that? Is that a bunny? Is that a bunny suit? It's a bunny suit going into the leotard, into the tights, into her lower half, which has a shit ton of armor. And then we got that asymmetrical arm guards and the same yellow capsule we have on everyone else. So, right off the bat, she's already an interesting character because, yes, chat is correct. She has 2 halos. Now, earlier we were kind of speculating if the Sancta reverted back to their TCAS forms. But Ember here has her... she has 2 halos, but she doesn't have wings. So is she a Sancta? Is she a reverted TCAS? Or is she an Anasa like Jiyun? Because Jiyun, her race of TCAS split off from the Sancta and the Sarkaz. So I don't think Jiyun has a tail either. I'ma check. Let's check. We have the game opened up. Does Jiyun have a tail? What is she? What is she? Does she have a tail? I don't even know what class she is. Chat, what class is Jiyun? So we could find her easier. I don't even have her leveled up. Did I pass her? I passed her. Sniper? She's a sniper? So, okay. Is that a tail or the chakram? Jiyun does not have a tail. There we go. But she does have a halo, so... yeah. I'm definitely leaning towards the speculation that Ember is an Anasa like Jiyun. It's probably... the Anasa probably have different halos, just like the Sancta. So... we could definitely lean on that for speculation. More like a fighter guard like Mountain, basing on her gauntlet. I don't know what class she might be, but... but when we saw the teaser trailer for the gameplay, we saw a lot of guard knights happening. The Endmin was a guard knight. Chen was a guard knight. Wulfgard was a guard knight. I won't be surprised if Ember was a guard knight. Even in Endfield, we cannot escape guard knights being oversaturating the class pool. Religious symbol, maybe maybe the other Steel Oath got the same triangle. Maybe. So Ember is a wandering knight. She's no longer a part of the Order of the Steel Oath. She is a wandering warrior, just like Wulfgard. We're getting a lot of those archetypes. 3 guards, 1 caster, Kekel. Are vanguards even going to exist? That is a question. This is a completely different game compared to Arknights. We won't need sunflowers to get DP to summon anyone because, you know, we could have our 4 party members just out already. I think vanguards might have a different function in Endfield. You wonder if Sancta could even exist on another planet? I mean, all of them made it to. All of them made it to Talos too, so I don't see how there would be any trouble if getting Sancta to exist on Talos 2. If you mean, how do you get the law's influence on Talos 2? That's also a good question. I don't know about the law. Stuff about Laterano and Sancta are still fucking in the current timeline. Guess we'll find out in a few years. Or maybe we'll never find out. But no. I have trust in Arknights writers that they will continue the Lost storyline. And I'm not quite sure if they do continue it in Arturia's event. They're definitely gonna have to address the law eventually. So yeah, we got Ember. She is very sexily designed. She got that patented Endfield armpit window. Something tells me Leduc definitely has a very undisguised fetish. Armpit window. Leduc's barely disguised fetish. Based. Anyway, so we saw from the trailer that Ember is actually very tall. She might be one of the tallest characters in the game. She is as tall as... She's probably as tall as Wulfgard and male Endmin. How much art do you think Ember has? She's probably gonna get a lot of art. She seems like the first Dommy Mommy that we have in Endfield, but I'm also cautious to even call her that. So far, all the women that have been revealed for Endfield have not elicited that Mother Huntress vibe that plenty of original Arknights character had. She seems very marketable. I say that in a neutral way. She very much seems very marketable to a wider fan base. Like if you like Raiden Shogun, if you like Beidou, you're probably gonna like Ember as a character because she definitely checks all those boxes for those types of characters. But Arknights girl bosses have a more transcendent vibe to them, and I'm still not getting that about Ember right now. Finally, a woman you could look up to. Did they reveal that she's a 6-star op? We still don't know most of the rarities of the characters. We only know 4. We know the Endmin is a 6-star, but Perlica, Chen, and Wulfgard are 5 stars. Yeah, a lot of Arknights women have a lot of class and vibes that you can't really describe. They're girl bosses. A lot of them are girl bosses. Like Kristen from Lone Trail definitely exuded some of the best woman vibes that Arknights has ever had. And of course we also have other different archetypes of female characters like little girls, like teenagers and stuff like that, but Ember seems the more mature type. She'll definitely have a niche fan base that will probably stan her. I'm pretty neutral about her. Her design is very... I'm gonna be honest, her design's kinda all over the place. She is top light and she is bottom heavy, which is kinda interesting in itself. She has 2 dual blades, so judging from that alone, we could surmise that she'll be a dual sword wielder. What else can we say about her? You hope we get one lady who reaches 190 centimeters in height. Who is our tallest woman in Arknights? I think our tallest woman in Arknights is Gladia. Yeah, Gladia is kinda huge. How tall is Gladia? Let's see. How tall is Gladia? 181 centimeters. Holy shit. Hoshi is also one of the tallest, but I don't have Hoshi right now to check. Holy shit. Gladia is 181. Now that's a tall mommy. Tallulah? I have no idea how tall Tallulah is. Who else are our tallest characters? Saria's pretty tall, but she's not as tall as Gladia. Yeah, she's about 6 centimeters, 7 centimeters shorter than Gladia. Hosey's pretty tall. Hosey's actually super tall. 177 Posey. Goddamn. Hoshi is 184. Okay, so Hoshi might be the tallest female character that we have. God damn! We got some tall women. Okay, so we got that. Ember, I'm pretty neutral about her. When I initially saw her from the trailer, I thought that her red hair gave off 9 vibes. I thought she was 9, but she wasn't. This blue streak is kind of weird. Don't know if that's going to be important to her character. And I think the blue streak kind of comes off. I think the blue streak kind of comes off worse in the actual 3D model. It seems that it's not, the hair tech in the game is not singular strands, but more of baked in shapes in the hair. So the blue streak is it's kind of weird looking on the 3D model, not gonna lie. Hosey's taller than Saria? She is. She is. Blaze is only 172 apparently. And that should be Ember. Moving on. We have Avywenna from the Talos 2 General Chamber of Commerce. I'm not the type who would accept any invitation, but if it's from the Endmin, well, maybe I'll give it a shot. Avywenna is a former armed messenger of the Talos 2 General Chamber of Commerce, the TGCC, and the professional combatant. She's a confident and amicable lady skilled in the art of socializing. These qualities gave her a lot of friends. Nevertheless, Avywenna always maintains her distance to keep these friends in the friend zone. Oh goddamn, okay. And this is exactly how most messengers on Talos 2 deal with people. So, Avywenna, General Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, she's giving off a lot of Kazimierz vibes right from the jump. The General Chamber of Commerce is an institution within Kazimierz itself. It's basically the organization that runs Kazimierz because it's a hyper-capitalist country. So it's not really a government, more of a type of capitalist hellscape. General Chamber of Coomer. Okay, dude. Wait, isn't Chamber of Commerce connected to Kazimierz? Yes. Sun Sun? She might be a tsundere? Probably. She seems like a tsundere. Straight up. Her staff looks like Medic. Only Hodor banner. You forgot her name? The Medic from the Hodor banner. I didn't pay attention to the Hodor banner. So anyway, just looking at her character, we could see straight up that she has a bunch of arrows, a bunch of vectors just going zigzagging all around her body. Now, Liduk may have redesigned this character art, but I know exactly who designed this. It smells. It absolutely smells of LM7. Like, LM7, look at Holiak's design. And then look at Avywenna's design. Yeah, LM7 definitely designed Avywenna. Like, without a doubt. I'm pretty sure. I'm 99% sure that LM7 designed Avywenna. And for those that don't remember, LM7 is the designer of Angelina, Kyuubi, and Holiak. Very Arknights, very busy art. Yeah, you're correct, chat. This was one of the only character designs that they've revealed so far that definitely feels to me like an Arknights character. She's got that over-designed drip. She got those layers going on. She got that Kazimierzian reminiscent style, like a futuristic knight. She definitely feels like the most Arknights looking character out of everyone at the moment. She's a lot of things going on. And so far, I'm loving her design. She seems to be a Kotus, a bunny girl just like Amiya. She has them weird red eyes with blue irises. Don't know what that's about. Interesting. Cassie's skin has the same vibe. Very busy art style and vibing. The only thing I don't like about her current design is her spear. I think the sun saw thing is kind of overkill. You got all of these arrows on her main body, but then we have these zigzags that break the pattern on her staff. But I think it won't matter much in the game because we'll have, God forbid me, we'll have equipment that we could farm. We're still unsure if we'll get gacha weapons. Please, Hypergriff, do not do gacha weapons. I swear to God. Holy shit. Kyo just put up the login screen music for Dark Knight's lobby. Yeah, I've seen the lobby music. I wanted to use that as our background music for the stream, but I'm not quite sure if that'll get. I'm not quite sure about the NDA about all of that. I didn't get into the technical tests, so I'm not sure if I'm allowed to even re-upload or repurpose the lobby music. But I have listened to it. The lobby music for Endfield is very good. They need to put the gacha somewhere. They will. Oh my god. I cannot. One of the best things about current Arknights is that you could feasibly finish a character. You could get them up to max level, you could mastery their skills, and then you could be practically done with them as a character. You don't need to ever progress them any further than that. Compared to other games where you have to farm out equipment or you need to hope in the weapon gacha that you get their best in slot weapon. I don't know. I just think going into the weapon banner, weapon gacha is a bad call. Anyway, the number of characters are going to be cut down significantly because we'll only have 4 members in our party. So they have to fill the gacha up with other trash elsewhere. Most likely it's going to be the weapon gacha. It is what it is. Hopefully, the technical testers can give some feedback that is a very friction-full system. It's not good. Hopefully they can change it prior to release. As long as they don't fall into the Genshin pitfall where it takes 1 month per character due to RNG hell. I believe we'll be able to craft our own weapons. Yeah, I believe that too. The only question is whether the gacha banners will have way more powerful weapons than the ones we could farm for free to play. Or it'll also depend on the economy of the gacha currency that we'll get. The economy is also very important. How much currency we'll get over a course of time, and how it'll feel to reach how it'll feel to target pity in the banners. Maybe it'll have the same amount of pity as regular Arknights, but that's too soon to tell. Maybe there'll be a gold search shop where eventually you could pity out the weapon that you want. That might also be a thing. And because there are only And because there's only 4 characters that you'll have to play with, maybe once you get the best in slot of each type of weapon that you want, you don't really need to get more of them. Maybe most of the weapons in the gacha might become side grades. I don't know. This is just me coping. Weapon, well, okay, but only weapon, please. No boots, pants, or hats. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the equipment system. So anyway, back to Avywenna. I love her design. Once again, she got that armpit window, Leduc, and their barely disguised fetish. So, we got that. Not much else to say about the design. I think it's pretty good. I love the color scheme of the monotone colors plus the red accents. It's very good. So far, pretty fire. I love this design. I think it might be, aside from Xaihi, my second favorite design out of all. Xaihi was pretty straightforward, pretty simple, but Avywenna is leaning more towards the actual OG Arknights vibes for me. I like this design a lot. She's got a bunch of futuristic doohickeys as usual. She got this shield on her. She has a coochie shield. Huh. This bitch has a coochie shield. What the fuck? Okay. Interesting character design. Okay. Thanks, LM7. Praise be the coochie shield. As long as his thighs are squished, I don't care if Leduc blasts their fetish in my face. I think Avywenna became your favorite design. I'm selling you guys on the cult of Avywenna. This is the beginning of the cult of Avywenna. I will be the pastor. Welcome to the church. Gotta keep the horny away. It's a coochie shield to keep the horny away. Are you fucking kidding me? That'll only get people more horny. So yeah, I love this design. Not much else to say about it. I'm never gonna unsee this. Okay. So, moving on, we have the one and only Angelina. Rhodes Island. This place is totally unlike Rhodes Island. It's all very new to me. Angelina is a Rhodes Island operator dispatched to Endfield. A gifted combatant, she has also mastered the extremely rare anti-gravity aspect of the Originium arts. She was assigned to the Endfield Partnership Program shortly after leaving Warfarin's facilities. Angelina remains sunny and optimistic self with a dash of anxiety but plenty of hope for the future. This surprised Warfarin and made her somewhat nostalgic as well. So, what is a coochie shield? They don't know, Pepe laugh. They don't know. So, we have Angelina. We don't know if this is our Angelina. We're definitely leaning towards it definitely being our Angelina. She's from Rhodes Island. We've been speculating when Endfield takes place in the timeline. We sort of saw on Xaihi's design that this timeline might take place in 2048, so about 50 years after Lone Trail. The question is, this doesn't look like a 66-year-old. This doesn't look like a 66-year-old. Something sussy is up. Something's definitely up with the timeline in between these games. We still don't know if Endfield is a direct sequel to Arknights or if it's an alternate universe. But judging from the description alone, Rhodes Island exists, Warfarin exists. Apparently there's a partnership program between Endfield and Rhodes Island, so originally we thought that Endfield was a subsidiary or a development of Rhodes Island, but apparently they're two separate institutions. And that's why they have a partnership program? An exchange program? And now Angelina is part of this? She's a forever JK? Okay, probably. Clearly she stood on another planet and used her powers to send herself to the future, clueless. 50-year-old women is fine, women don't age until 80 in anime. True. Warfarin is a vampire, so she may actually live extremely long. Correct. Warfarin is already centuries old, so somewhere along the timeline, she's definitely still alive and still in charge of Rhodes Island. So she was definitely the one that sent Angelina off towards Endfield. Judging from things that have been teased in Lone Trail and in the upcoming IS4, there is something definitely sussy going on in the north of Terra. And from the teaser trailer on Endfield, they've been mentioning that the goal of Endfield is to explore all the way to the north of Talos 2, where apparently there's a doorway that's surrounded by all sorts of fucky shit. It looks like it's surrounded by all sorts of crystals and originium and shit, a statue of Patriot, there's a tower of Babel with Rhodes Island crashing into it. There's a lot of fucky shit going on in the north of Talos 2. And apparently there might be a doorway there. In the money shot of the Endfield trailer, that was when Angelina was revealed. It looks like she's inside the doorway itself. And from the teasers that we got in Lone Trail and that's going to be in the upcoming IS4, it seems like even on Terra, there might be some sort of rift. They explicitly called it a rift in the north. And it's related to the demons. So, make that as you will. Maybe the demons are coming out of the rift in the north, past Sammy. Maybe the demons on Terra are actually Agaloy from Talos 2? Who knows? A lot of things are going on. I'm putting things together like Pepe Sylvia. I'm just putting things on a dartboard, putting red lines in between. Pepe Sylvia! Pepe Sylvia! You're telling us? Black hole time dilation, you guarantee it? Maybe. Her gravity powers can be a key to all of this, who knows? Also, it's very interesting that the Angelina here does not seem to have any originium on her thighs. Because Angelina's infected. If this takes place, supposedly, 50 years in the future after Lone Trail, Angelina's infection should technically become worse. As we see here in her Bloodline of Combat skin. For those that don't know, Bloodline of Combat are a line of skins that show operators in the prime of their lives. It could be in the past or their future, but judging from this, apparently we can now assume that Bloodline of Combat Angelina takes place on Endfield. Sometime in her future, she's gonna master gravity arts and shit. So even here, it looks like her originium crystals on her thighs have subsided. But in her original skin, she still has the infection on her thighs. So that's interesting to note. We'll definitely get more in depth into what happens to originium and oripathy when we start discussing Kelsey's skin. Because Kelsey's skin explains a lot of what happens in between Endfield and original Arknights. Kelsey's skin is probably the most important skin that we've gotten to date. It has so many lore drops and lore bombs. Maybe it's just a matter of perspective. Buy the Bloodline of Combat skin, but I already got her. I like her swimsuit skin. It's very well designed. Remember, original Endfield trailer showed what looked like oripathy is being cured in that trailer. Being cured or being reined in. Maybe. Actually, no, we'll not get into this yet. We'll get into this when we start discussing Kelsey's skin for the later part of the stream. So anyway, Angelina, her design is definitely inspired by her Bloodline of Combat skin in original Arknights. She's once again got these science doohickeys that we don't know what are for. A lot of them have these science doohickeys. She's got this robe instead of her large fluffy jacket that he has in her BOC skin. If you had a nickel every time a gravity power wielding gacha character with the same name in the spiritual sequel appeared, you'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it happened twice. So anyway, Angelina, with a design a lot more simpler than her BOC design. She has a lot less belts. I think Leduc was like to LM7. Bro, you have way too many belts on this. You know we can't render this in 3D, right? She has less straps. She looks like she wasn't designed by Nomura anymore, or LM7. This is Leduc's. This is Leduc's art style now, redesigned probably. We see her tail. We've never actually seen Angelina's tail in any of her current skins. So, that's interesting to see. She has this neck brace. What is this neck brace for? Maybe she could use her gravity. Maybe she could use her gravity powers to turn her body super heavy now, and she could manipulate G-forces. That's why she has a neck brace, so that she doesn't break her neck while using her gravity powers. What happened to Angelina in these years? She's still wearing the Oripathy tracker. So even though we don't see the Originium crystals anywhere visible on her body, we still see the Rhodes Island patented tracker on her wrist. Before she would wear it on her neck, but now there's a brace there, so she's wearing it on her left hand. She can sit on people really hard. Well, I guess. She doesn't look 66 years old to me. So, there's definitely something sussy afoot with how Angelina looks and when or where Endfield takes place on the Arknights timeline. A lot of things to think about. She got her usual art style. Not much to say here. She got the one-piece dress. She got that armored breastplate that is reminiscent of gravel. Gotta check the hide part. She can sit on you all she wants. The shield thing on the left resembles Sarya's shield. Shield thing? You mean this? I don't think this is a shield. I think this is just the middle of her... I think this is just a part of her robe that attaches to the other part. I think if you attach these two together, it just becomes symmetrical. But we still don't know what this is for. The Endministrator has a similar thing on their shoulder. It has the same blue lights, but maybe they could be for different purposes. We don't know yet. So far, Angelina definitely the most mysterious character that has been revealed so far. Because they used her for the money shot of the Endfield trailer, they definitely know that Angelina has some important part about this. They're definitely trying to tease that Angelina has some sort of fucky part in all of this. So that should be it. She doesn't seem to be wearing any of those yellow capsules that all of the other operators have. Like, Avywenna doesn't have the yellow... Oh, no, she does. She has a yellow capsule right here that's kind of off-screen. Ember has a yellow capsule here, but Angelina does not seem to have a yellow capsule just like the others. Maybe... something. Maybe Oripathy might be a sort of defense. Maybe having Oripathy might have some sort of defense against the Blight. Who knows? Maybe you can't get double cancer. Maybe you can only have one cancer at a time. So that's why she doesn't need the yellow capsules just like the others, because she's already infected. I don't know. What are we calling her? Angelina Alter? Angelter? Angie? God, your lore elements are activated by Endfield. This is peak Arknights design. It's pretty okay. It definitely screams more Arknights than some of the other characters. The the futuristic thingy-majiggies on her, like the breast, the neck brace, and this thing are weird. They're definitely Endfield specific design aesthetics. So yeah, that's Angelina. Definitely excited to see more of her involvement in Endfield, if ever. And you can quote me right now, she is 100% a 6-star, and she's going to be the first fucking banner. She's gonna be the first banner in the entire game. 100%. 100%. Angelina's gonna be the very first banner character. 100. How about how many star operators is? Too many animations for characters to do. I think there are only 4, 5, 6 in the game, and 1 star operators for every branch. I think they'll have the whole range of 6-star characters because they've already shown that the Endministrator has 6 stars. So we'll probably get maybe, this is my hope, I hope we get a similar recruitment system that we could get 3 stars and 4 stars out of. That'll help supplement your team when you're not, pulling for characters. It needs more belt squish. So there are definitely 6 stars in this game. The question is, will we have 1 stars like Lancet? Because we saw a Lancet 2 type building in the gameplay demo. So we might have robots here. Who knows? 2 stars, maybe we'll have 2 stars. Some Endfield reserve operators, some 3 stars. Who knows? Anyway, I will just take a sip of water. It is time to hydrate. Don't forget to hydrate or else we will dehydrate. Lancet 2 was upgraded into a building. I think that's a downgrade. They turned Lancet 2 into a building. Watch lower rarity be weapons. Dear God. Oh no. Oh no. Not like this. Okay, so last 2 characters. The urban legend for Arknights in your country. You can recruit it with tag plus supporter. Maybe. But Angelina is a fan favorite character. I 100% expect her to be the very first banner. Just to milk the old Arknights doctors. The Lancet 2 building was hilarious. We didn't get to hear the building talk, if it could talk. So anyway, the last 2 characters. We got Chen Qianyu from Hongshan. Let me show off a few moves this time. What do you think? Chen Qianyu is a specialist operator of Endfield Industries and serves as Perlica's personal security detail. As a scion of the Lung bloodline, Chen has a strong physique and is extremely talented. She has studied tactics and martial arts since a young age. The training gave her outstanding combat capabilities and a mental fortitude rarely seen in people her age. Truth and justice are the guiding tenets of Chen's life. She will never compromise on the matters of principle, regardless of the circumstance. So, we have Chen 2. Chen 2.0. Well, chat, what do we think about Chen 2? So far, we got Chen's supposed descendant, and then we have Angelina, both together in the same timeline. So things are not adding up. Apparently, she's the scion of the Lung bloodline, and the scion means that they're the youngest member or they're the youngest descendant of a bloodline. So in some way, she is definitely younger than Chen. We know that Chen herself is related to many a Yanni's noble, and she has family in Yan. Maybe she might be Chen's cousin? I'm not leaning towards the daughter route because I honestly think it is what it is. They're never gonna do descendants of characters because of the parasocial nature of gacha games. If they ever tell us that Chen got married to someone and had a baby, I think people would riot. So they're never gonna tell us that. But in some way, Qianyu is definitely part of the Chen Lung bloodline. Chen 2 is clearly better than the angry old youngling we have. Young. They're actually younger. The first trailer, Chen, horn is yellow. This is different. Yeah. From the original images that we got from Endfield a year back, Endfield originally had a black and yellow color scheme, but now they changed it up. They updated Chen to have a blue and white color scheme, which I honestly like better than the black and yellow. I know I've seen people complain that they like the yellow and black better, but I think the white and blue looks very good on Chen. I like it a lot. She's probably related like a cousin. Yeah. So the white and blue color scheme, I very much enjoy. She definitely exudes that Arknights aesthetic and art style. She has similar design aesthetics and silhouette to original Chen. Original Chen has more of a police look because of, her occupation. But she seems more hoity-toity. She's wearing that one-piece dress with the small apron on the front, and then she got this vest with the sleeves on the side, and she got that happy-go-lucky personality. We saw from the stickers that they released a while ago on the Endfield Twitter that she is goofy as hell. Chen Qianyu is goofy as hell. She's way more goofy than Chen. It's like the reverse personalities. The game is already gray, so having warmer colors for a character is better. I agree. The thing is, who taught her Qixiao's moves? Yeah, that's also another thing to think about. Because she knows how to use the Qixiao moves, and the Qixiao technique was taught to Chen by Yen Wu. I don't know if the Qixiao technique is passed along Chen's entire family, but as of now, we only know 2 people in the game that know the Qixiao technique, and it's Chen and Yen Wu. So maybe they could have taught her along the way. That could be a possibility. We saw in the demo trailer, we saw in the gameplay demo that even though she's using Qixiao, she doesn't actually own the sword. She doesn't own the Qixiao sword. So maybe Chen still has it in this timeline? Question mark. Qianyu uses her own dual blades and probably exchangeable dual blades because, the equipment system. They're clones? You think they're clones? There's no way. I don't think they're clones. Chen has blue hair. Qianyu has black hair. I don't think they're clones. So anyway, since Liduk is not giving us an armpit window this time, he's giving us a forearm window. Now this is a fetish that could be activated for some people. I think we're innovating on fetishes beyond seeing what we know in current day. I think this is a future fetish. We don't see the vision just yet. The forearm window, definitely an interesting choice in character aesthetics. Yenwu also uses Qixiao with his finger. Yeah. So yeah, I think Qianyu has a very good design I don't have too many complaints about it. I don't have any complaints about it. It definitely suits her personality well. You think Doctor makes homunculus things? I don't know. She has a blue capsule instead of the yellow capsule that everyone else has, and Wulfgard has a red capsule. She has a blue one. Somehow, the colors mean something we don't know just yet. The colors, what do they mean? What do the colors mean? I don't know. Chen and the Endmin weapon got the same symbol in the demo. Maybe there are no twin blade type weapons. I don't know what they're gonna do for the equipment for this game. I guess we'll just wait and see in a few hours when people start streaming the technical test. So, she's definitely giving off a bit of those Chinese dress vibes. The top of her inner layer feels like the inside of a Chinese dress, and then we got this mini skirt on the bottom. You guys watch that VTuber that reacted to the Endfield trailer where she just freaks out about Chen's ass and how huge it is in the game? Her ass is so huge! So, for the ass enjoyers, I guess Chen Qianyu is there for you. The capsules are elemental. Wolf is fire type, got a red flask. Chen element type is blue. Endmin and Perlica are electric. Oh, that's a good observation. It's their element type, just like in the gameplay demo. That is correct. Oh. Where can we see these emotes? You're talking about the Endfield stickers? The Endfield Twitter account just released a while ago, which shows off a bit of... Actually, no, I'm just gonna pull it up. We're on stream. Might as well pull it up. Endfield. So, what we know about Chen's character right now is that she goofy as hell. Look at this. Look at this. She's goofy as hell. She's so goofy. She's in the cardboard box. Is the cardboard box going to be our gacha bag in Endfield? Is this what we've come to? Arknights 2 and all of our characters come out of cardboard boxes now? And then we got Perlica with a good. We got Chen being goofy as hell. Chen trying to be goofy, trying to be edgy. Perlica with a telescope binocular thing. Yep. Chen asleep. Perlica throwing away the smartphone. Chen trying to run away from her responsibilities. We got a shush from Perlica. We got Chen having a big brain moment. Perlica doing some work. Chen doing the meme of this. Right here. Then we got more Perlica. In OG Arknights, there are much more elemental powers than just basic elements like Genshin. I guess. I wonder if we'll see more or genuine type powers. Because Angelina definitely isn't any sort of element user. She's a gravity user, so I wonder how they're gonna apply that to an element style game system. But Chen, as we know her, looks like she'll definitely have Chishu's combat set. She'll be using dual blades. And so far, I think she's one of the more well-designed characters that have been revealed so far. And that should be that. We still don't know what the faction Hong Shan is. It might be a Lungmen or Yan related faction. Guess we'll find out. So anyway, we have our final revealed character. Fjall, who is an Endfield character. Think before you act, Administrator. It's hard to believe that the soft-spoken and polite Korlek Fjall was the legendary beast slayer from the Order of Steel Oath. But the former warrior has grown tired of the endless carnage and battle. After leaving the Order, Korlek returned to the Civilization Band and took up the medical profession. After multiple disappointments, Korlek eventually and finally agreed to join Enfield Industries. What do we think about Fjall, chat? I personally think that we don't have enough of rugged warriors that have abandoned violent ways to become doctors and Arknights. No, definitely, we don't have enough of those archetypes in Arknights. No sirree. We need more of them. Just make 5 more Fjalls. just make more Saryas, make more Shinings, make more Gavials. We need more warriors turned medics, sure. Once again, Arknights proving the meme right of, I'm a medic, but I'm also a pharmacist. You have a lot of pharmacists in Arknights. Apparently that's the unique job class that we have in this franchise. So he's a defender. He used to be a warrior for the Order of the Steel Oath, so he used to be a knight. Apparently now he put down his sword to become a doctor. He's giving off a lot of vibes reminiscent of multiple different characters like Theresis. He feels like a younger version of Theresis. He also feels like Cicero. If Cicero was gender bent into a dude. The archer class is made of archers. True. Fate memes. He's probably like Sarya, except he has a knife. He's gonna shank you. So far, I think Fjall is very well designed. He's not overly designed in the futuristic techno doohickeys like everyone else is. It's more subdued. He's got that lab coat, and then he's got a knife because we have to know that he's a badass of some sort. He has... what is this? Is he just using wire as his ponytail clip? Okay. He still has knives scattered on his person. That's how we know he's a badass. He has a bunch of ear piercings on his top ears. I see we're still going for the quadruple ears in Endfield. Never change, Arknights. That's also never going to be explained whatsoever. Never going to be explained. It is what it is. Everyone either has 2 ears or 4 ears. Both of them functional. For note, Telopsis, when they open CBT, she's a class. She's not a medic, so maybe they could change class after the release. I see. So as of this moment, we only know that he's a defender. All the others have been guard knights and then casters. We could use more defenders at the start of the game, Hypergriff. maybe 2 or 3 defenders. Arknights JP just broke the first year's sale record, 2023's best-selling year for Japan. Jesus Christ. What the hell? Arknights Global is getting carried by Japan. We're never gonna get those free 10 pulls that Japan gets because the West just isn't as acclimated towards gacha gambling as Japan is. But Arknights is very successful. Way past its launch. It is definitely uncommon. It is actually miraculous that Arknights is still continuing to beat its launch peaks up to now. And it's doing it multiple times. That doesn't happen in gacha games. Gacha games slowly peter off and plateau, and then they enter maintenance mode, or, they fall off a cliff and the end of service. But Arknights, it's just getting bigger and bigger, at least in Japan and China. This is where this man's and Endfield is where all the gacha money is going. Does test build open today or tomorrow? It opens in a few hours. A few people are going to be streaming it. I recommend watching either Kyo or Dragon GJY. GJY? Is it GJY? The module guy. Both of them are gonna have English-speaking streams for Enfield's technical test. I mean, wasn't Arknights always growing? I guess. But Arknights is impressive in a way in that it is super niche. It is incredibly niche. Like we don't pay attention to it, but tower defense plus furry characters plus visual novel, extensive style storytelling. Arknights is not a game that is designed to be mainstream popular. That's just the gist of it. It is made for a specific type of audience that either loves this game or hates this game, and somehow it's still growing. And Endfield is definitely going to be the more mainstream break of Arknights into the mainstream. We could already see it from the designs alone, how plenty of these designs are, and I'm gonna talk about this when we get into the overall impressions, but I do feel like many of the initial designs that we have for Endfield are super safe and marketable. Like, there's nothing to love or hate about them, aside from Wulfgard, but that's a me issue, I guess. But they're super safe, they're super marketable. It is what it is, let's say it. They're pretty pale looking. There's not a lot of melanin going around. So it is what it is. Hopefully Endfield can have a lot more color in their skin tones eventually as they add more different types of characters. Hopefully they could also bring back more of the unique silhouettes that we have in current Arknights, because as we see it now, plenty of the silhouettes that we have in Endfield are super similar. They have very similar body types. We have slender woman, twinky, lanky, skinny guy. Slender woman but tall. Slender woman but a bit busty. Slender woman but huge ass. And then another twinky, lanky, tall guy. So eventually I do want to see them branch out into the types of designs that made Arknights what it is. Now I'm not talking about I'm not talking about our own slender women like Surtur. I'm talking about the designs that get people rabid. The designs like Mountain. Mountain is straight up a Bara furry. Like, this is not a safe, marketable design. No shot. But people love Mountain. We have other designs for male characters. Like, hold up, where is it? Like Jay. Jay is a fishball vendor. He's just a dude with what's this skin disease called? Vitiligo? Hold up, let me just Google what is vitiligo? Vitiligo? Yeah, vitiligo. Jay has vitiligo. So those aren't just scars on his skin. This is actually a skin type that some people have, where pigments on their skin cannot have melanin. Then we have Durans like Myrtle. I want to see Durans in Endfield. I want to see more of our classic races like Sancta. I want to see more Sarkaz type races. We got Broca. Where's Broca? I don't have Broca built. We got these fucking cats from Monster Hunter. Excuse me. I burped. We got the robots. I want robots playable in Arknights Endfield. I don't want to just have humanoid characters. We could have Broca. Like, holy shit. He's ripped. What other difference? Like, the characters in Arknights all have something unique to them. even if you're not a fan of some of them, each of them definitely has a niche that they're catering to. But so far in Endfield, it all feels pretty safe, pretty marketable. And I guess it is what it is because those are the starting characters that you're trying to sell to non-Arknights players. You have so much unique looking characters. And not gonna lie, I will admit, Arknights could use a bit more melanin for my taste. We can't just... Come on, dog. Come on, dog. We can't just look to Thorns and think, he's our token brown guy. Come on. Come on. We have so many furries. Like Ak. For certain types of audiences. I definitely want Arknights to have... Arknights Endfield. To have just as varied or even more varied character designs than original Arknights. Because this is what makes Arknights. All of these unique looking characters. So anyway, that's my soapbox on character design. We probably will get the Rip Men as well, but it's niche and not filled in 3D gacha game. So my main worry is that they're gonna have similar body types for many of the characters. But as we know in Arknights, that is not the case. When it comes to the world of Terra, we'll have small Durans, we'll have big Bara furries, we'll have big buff dudes, we'll have thin women, we'll have short women, we'll have shorty busty short stacks like Utage. So, as of now, all of the character designs are pretty safe. I think ending thoughts on Fjall, he's pretty okay. Not much to say about him. He might also have a coochie guard right here. He has a dick guard. He needs to protect his cock from all of you horny motherfuckers. I saw the retweets. I saw the retweets on this guy's character reveal. I see you horny motherfuckers go feral over this man's. He needs this coochie guard. Y'all sicken me. Y'all fucking sicken me. The character will be a remodel of different preset Squelton, but we don't know much. Hope they didn't make a template for the NPC. God, the day when we have a chunky girl in Endfield is when we scream. We don't even have any chunky women in Arknights. the closest to chunky women we have are women with big breasts and with kinda visible tummies like Utage and Holiak. But that's it. That's the extent of that. So anyway, that should be our first impressions on all of the currently revealed characters for Arknights Endfield. For sure, there are definitely going to be more before the game launches, so stay tuned to that. If you friendos have any thoughts of your own, if you have any agreements or disagreements with me, put them down in the comments down below. But once again, my name is Nez, and thanks for watching. I'ma see you all next time for some more Arknights Endfield content. Bye, friendos! Okay, so that's the YouTube video done. I'm gonna edit that. I should probably release that within the time window of the technical test to get some of those Endfield views. Anyway, we must protect Fjall's virginity from Twitter. Is that gonna be our headcanon? Is that Fjall, even though he's a handsome fuckboy warrior dude, is that he's a virgin? Oh yeah, we forgot to mention that he seems to have oripathy. So, somehow oripathy still might exist in Endfield. So that's something to look out for. Interesting that he seems to have an originium crystal in his forehead, but he's not wearing any oripathy monitor like Angelina is. So anyway, how about that Kelsey skin? Time to move on. Let's go back into the game. Okie dokie, so. I'm gonna refill my water. Bathroom break, short bathroom break. In case anyone wants to go and refill their water and whatever.
あなたは今どこにいるの？その場所も一つの夢なの？ 夢。あなたはどんな夢を見るのかしら。あなたは今どこにいるの？その場所も一つの夢なの？
I hath returned. Did some stretches. Make sure that you do some stretches. Make sure that you don't suffer that sedentary lifestyle. But anyway, we're moving on towards our Lone Trail adjacent discussion. I'm not going to be doing a full review on Lone Trail just yet. Just because it's only been 2 days since it came out, and not a lot of people have gotten through the story just quite yet. But today, we will be taking a look at Kelsey's new Remnant skin. So how should I do this intro for the YouTube video? Okay, so hello friendos. My name is Nez. And welcome to yet another Arknights video, because today we're going to be taking a look at, quite possibly, one of the most important skins in Arknights as a whole. Because recently, our ex-wife Kelsey just got her Remnant skin. And this skin drops so much different lore bombs, potentially impacting what could happen and what will happen in the future of Arknights. It has so many implications on the future of the storyline, including Endfield, that it deserves a video of its own. Yo, goodbye, that was fun. You don't want to spoil yourself some more, so have some fun. Thank you for stopping by, friendo. So, Kelsey's Bloodline of Combat skin it is currently on the store as of now during the Lone Trail event. It costs about 21 or 24 OP, and it comes with some pretty interesting, unique voice lines that we don't have for many other skins in the game. It's that expensive because it has so much unique lore content that we're gonna have to look and dissect every single one, because quite frankly, this skin signals the very future of Arknights in very many ways. So for those that don't know, the Bloodline of Combat skins, they symbolize and they show operators at the prime of their lives. It could either be in their past or future, but as always, it always shows operators whenever they're in the most important or most impactful moment of their lives. And here we see Kal'tsit, the Bloodline of Combat collection Remnant. Originium has taken over the land, and what she has envisioned has become reality. She has enumerated and entrusted everything else to the others, leaving only her name as she hones her mission into a sharp blade. So, just looking at this skin alone, there are some pretty interesting things that we could gain because, well, there's this big-ass Originium halo floating above Kal'tsit. Oh yeah. Also, spoiler warnings towards Lone Trail, because every now and then I might drop info related to Lone Trail. So that will be a thing throughout this video. Hopefully none of you get spoiled inadvertently. So Kal'tsit seems to have an Originium halo, and this skin seems to take place in some sort of either direct future or alternate future on Terra. And we'll definitely get deeper into that once we get into her voice lines. But this skin alone, it definitely seems like there's Originium all over the place. These other guys in her background have hazmat suits to protect them from the Originium, while Kal'tsit's just raw dogging it out in the open. The Originium halo being the most defining feature of this skin. Now, for those that don't know, from Kal'tsit's module, it's actually hinted that Kal'tsit may have owned the Civilized Eterna one time in her life. The Civilized Eterna being the crown of the Lord of Fiends that Amiya currently owns. And eventually, we'll get to that later. Eventually, there is hints that the crown might be shared eventually. Or it could just be an Originium halo. Who knows? So yeah, can't really skirt around things unless we get into the actual voice lines. So let's actually just get into it. I've turned on the English voice acting because it'll be a lot easier to digest as a video. I do normally play on JP. Subs versus dubs people, do not get mad at me. This is only for the video. So anyway, let's listen to all of her voice lines and talk about them in detail. One of her lines says Administrator, doesn't it? We'll get into that. So let's start with her voice line when she gets appointed as assistant.
The Ark does not have the resources to maintain unnecessary extended communications. But there will be no restrictions on transmissions between the two of us. Keep the channel open.
So, first line, and we already have a mention of the Ark. As of Lone Trail, the Ark was officially mentioned in the storyline. Because in Lone Trail, the Ark was mentioned as a way to... Eventually, there would be a need for an organization just like Rhodes Island to unite the peoples of Terra against the coming calamity, quote-unquote. And the Ark would be some sort of way to save the people on Terra. You know, Arknights. Arknights. Somehow, we're finally rolling back into the title of this game. So the Ark is going to be very important to the world of Terra moving forward. Presumably, Rhodes Island will be the one that'll build the Ark after this sort of Originium calamity starts happening in order to save the rest of humanity, because as we've As a certain character reiterates in Lone Trail, the world of Terra is currently too preoccupied with waging wars against each other and waging wars against and fighting back against the Seaborn, fighting back against the demons in the north, when eventually time will run out for Terra and there will be a need for a thing called the Ark to save everyone. And Kal'tsit's skin Bloodline of Combat supposedly happening in the future of this timeline. Very interesting things to think about. Now, with the question of whether this Bloodline of Combat skin can be considered canon to the actual timeline, we have good assumption that it could be canon to the timeline. With the Bloodline of Combat skin of Angelina, that skin, let's bring up the BOC skin for Angie. Where's Angie? There are only two special cases of the BOC skins being from so-called alternate realities. Where's Angie? It's Angelina's Bloodline of Combat skin, because we're still completely unsure whether her BOC skin takes place in the future of Arknights or if Endfield takes place in a different reality. So that's one special case with the BOC skin of Angelina. And then we have the BOC skin of Skadi, their Corrupting Heart. Her BOC skin takes place when Isharmla fully takes over Skadi, and they become the Seaborn god that causes the Seaborn apocalypse in IS3. But Skadi in herself is a fringe character. She's more of an AU version of her actual character. So those are the two instances in where we could assume that BOC skins can also take place in alternate timelines. But as of this moment, things are lining up with the current story of Lone Trail and Kal'tsit's skin mentioning the Ark, that we could reasonably assume that Kal'tsit, this definitely takes place in a canon future in Arknights. Surely. Maybe. Maybe. Copium. Yeah, copium. Sure. Now that you look at it carefully, the dress of Kal looks like a bootleg from Endfield. It definitely has similar design aesthetics to Endfield. It's got that classic Rhodes Island jacket on that she's wearing, but we've got these futuristic doohickey weapons that Kal'tsit's using. So it's definitely reminiscent of current Endfield designs, and I think that's intentional.
With the Originium held back by the curtains Rhodes Island has drawn, mankind was able to build the Ark and drag out its feeble existence. Yet the pressures of survival cannot suppress greed and desire. Every faction's leader yearns to become the administrator who holds all the keys. I understand that you pity them for their predicament, but you must decide based on your own judgment.
So, we're getting straight up information that Originium, in the future of the world of Arknights, either it is suppressed or it's actually held back by Rhodes Island in a way where mankind is finally able to build the quote-unquote Ark to save humanity. But judging by the picture alone, it doesn't look like Originium was completely wiped out. I think eventually we'll find a way to suppress the symptoms of oropathy, and that's why it's not as present in Endfield. So, somewhere in the future, humanity has to learn to probably coexist with Originium. It's also mentioned in Lone Trail that the fight against Originium is a hard one, and it might be more feasible to actually learn to coexist with it rather than fight with it. So there's that we got from Lone Trail. But all things pointing towards this sort of suppression and coexistence of Originium leads into very interesting questions leading up to Endfield. Okay, let's continue this discussion with talk number 2. Oh yeah! Aside from that, this is also the voice line in which I mentioned they finally mention a sort of administrator an administrator of the Ark. Because we have factions, different factions trying to vie for power, trying to become the administrator of the last bastion of humanity, the Ark as we know it. And administrator has a very important connotation because in Endfield, all the non-English localizations of Endfield use the term administrator rather than Endministrator. So there's that. We got those two separate details being strung together by my silly string of Pepe Sylvia conspiracy theories. There's that. Let's listen to her talk number 2.
Inactive originium solidified and accumulated, while redundant information piled atop itself in layers, giving us a new home. Only because you were there by our side could we delay the awakening of the arrogant master of all creation. All those who survived rely on your aid. They are all very appreciative, and so am I.
So, a lot of this is pretty vague. We've got inactive originium solidifying and accumulating, whatever that means, giving us a new home. So definitely the Ark is some sort of ship that'll get the people, the surviving peoples of Terra, off of the planet. Maybe the venture into Talos 2 is directly connected to the Ark that Rhodes Island will eventually build to escape the planet of Terra, which certainly seems like is going under complete originium catastrophe as of this skin. Very interesting information to note is that apparently there's an awakening of an arrogant master of all creation. Is there going to be some sort of god that the world or Terra has to face? Who knows? Maybe it's just Kelsey being cryptic as usual. But we do get important information that the Doctor and Kelsey are very important to this timeline. They might be the most important 2 people to save Terra from its inevitable demise, as we've come to learn in Lone Trail from talking to a certain character there. So, definitely things to think about. And from her first intro as appointed as assistant, we get to hear that Kelsey and Doctor might be separated. I think Kelsey got left on Terra, while Doctor is on the Ark in space, traveling with the rest of humanity. That's my feels. Because it definitely feels like the Doctor and Kelsey all throughout these different voice lines, it feels like they're separated from each other by long distance. And it feels like their final goodbyes to each other and their final discussions with each other.
The people of today may still remember what trees looked like. That is why they can point to originium clusters and call them an originium forest. But when we can no longer conceive of trees and woods, the word forest will forever disappear from our languages. If things continue that way, these lands will cease to exist as well.
So in Talk 3, we basically have a soft confirmation that something is definitely happening to the lands of Terra, in where originium clusters are taking over, and that soon there won't be any forests left. Like, the world is kind of undergoing a process like Oripathy. Similar to Oripathy, the world is kind of dying in some way, and the lands will cease to exist, and that's why the Ark needs to be made by Rhodes Island to save all of humanity. We've got a lot of post-apocalyptic vibes reminiscent of IS-3 going on with this skin, and I'm absolutely loving it. This skin has so many implications on what may potentially happen in the future of Arknights. Whether it's in the near future or far future, we don't quite know yet. Let's check out her talk after promotion 1.
Originium soared through the skies and seized the twin moons. its clusters dispersing into the universe like spores, contacting and assimilating both the living and the dead. This is what's currently happening outside of Terra. Originium is swallowing everything into its body and incubating an all-encompassing chaos. But Terra can still be saved, and only because you remain by our side.
So, apparently we learned that Originium, just like spores, just like mushroom spores, can spread into the universe from Terra. Whether it originated from Terra or not is still to be seen, but apparently, Originium can spread into space. It's already spread to the twin moons of Terra, and is dispersing into the universe. So, even if in Endfield somehow, hold up, let me just adjust my chair. So even if in Endfield somehow we find a way to suppress the effects of Oripathy and Originium, I don't think we could ever escape Originium just from this line alone. Because from Lone Trail, in Lone Trail we learned that there's a star pod, there's a barrier, there's a false sky above Terra that is acting like a barrier to either keep something inside Terra or to keep something from entering Terra. So that's something to think about. Why there's a false sky around the planet? We have no definitive answer to that yet. We can only assume. But it was definitely put there by someone. And some civilization. We have Lone Trail certainly implies that the original civilization were the ones to put the barrier there. For what reason, we're not quite sure just yet. Whether it's to keep Originium on the planet of Terra or to protect Terra from something outside in outer space. That's some cosmic horror bullshit to think about. Did Kristen Wright doom Terra by opening up the barrier? By tearing through the sky? Is she the reason why Originium spreads out into the universe? Or is she the reason why everything else in the universe can now say hello to Terra? A lot of things to think about. We're entering the end times, I guess. So, Terra can still be saved, and by Terra we mean the people of Terra. We still got the Ark that might be the salvation of all mankind, as Kelsey and Doctor have tasked themselves since Lone Trail. I guess we'll see with coming future. Let's see her promotion 2.
Under the curtain, Weaver, symptoms of Oripathy have faded into history. Yet mankind continues to voice its dissatisfaction. The old order did collapse, but the minds of man remain narrow. Amiya must still go hither and thither to unite them. While she is now an excellent leader, you are still the only one she can rely on.
So with this promotion voice line, we get confirmation that we didn't actually get to cure Oripathy, but the symptoms have actually been suppressed in some way. Somehow, some way, the Doctor and Rhodes Island find a way to suppress the symptoms of Oripathy, but Originium is still apparently devouring Terra as a planet and the ecosystem, so they still have to find a way to save humanity and get them on the Ark, the Noah's Ark, if you will, of Arknights, and get them to a different planet. Talos was already mentioned specifically by name in Lone Trail, and the existence of Talos 2 in Endfield definitely lends credence that Talos 2 is a colonization effort, probably to try to save humanity and find them a second home away from Terra. Plenty of things just being casually revealed in this Bloodline of Combat skin, whether it takes place in an alternate timeline or in the actual canonical future of Arknights. It's still too soon to tell, but I think the lore bombs speak for themselves, especially in the way that all of this intersect very well with plenty of reveals that we've gotten in Lone Trail as of the moment. Amiya seems to still be around. Apparently she's a great leader now, so there's that. Great. Our daughter is finally an adult. She's a great leader now. She's probably the leader of the Ark, the city, whatever they want to call it. The last bastion of humanity. But we're still the only person that she can rely on. We're still the doctor. We're still by her side. Sometime in the future, I hope Amiya gets a 6-star altar where we get to see Amiya Prime, Bloodline of Combat Amiya, when she becomes the leader of humanity of some sort. That would be interesting. So, let's check out her trust voice lines.
We can no longer draw meaningful lessons from past experiences. The answers to our questions come not from our collective pool of knowledge, but from innovation and imagination. As you are more proficient than I in those aspects, there is no need to seek my advice on every single matter. Your insights are more important than my opinion here.
The lessons from our past experiences are no longer meaningful. Daughter didn't destroy the whole Terra, she escaped Patriot's prediction? Yes. Because Patriot predicted that Amiya would destroy the world. Probably like all other Sarkaz Lords of Fiends. Because the other Sarkaz Lords of Fiends were all overwhelmed by the collective memory of the Sarkaz. So each and every one of them wanted to wage a vengeful war against all of Terra. But since Amiya is an outsider, she's a chimera. She doesn't have that inherited blood. She doesn't have that inherited bloodlust towards vengeance on the rest of the world because she's not a part of the culture. So she's the only one that could see. She's an outsider that could see how uniting Terra would be the best course of action in saving everyone from themselves, because everyone's too busy waging wars on each other, too busy discriminating, too busy oppressing each other, too busy dealing with the Seaborn and demons to recognize the true threat that is and might be Originium taking over the planet. So that's that to think about. This line is very reminiscent of a certain conversation in Lone Trail, where both Kelsey and Doctor discuss past experiences and whether or not those experiences make you who you are, or whether or not the actions you do in the present define you more. And it definitely involves a lot of introspection. The most introspection that we've gotten from the Doctor so far, Lone Trail has been absolutely masterful in doing Doctor's storyline. There's that. Let's see the Trust 2 voice line.
You already know how death functions for me, so there's no need to worry about the damage I take. Instead, you should pay more attention to your own condition. The sarcophagus cannot heal the trauma wrought by extreme stress and exhaustion. If there is anything you would like to say, I will listen.
So here we got some confirmation that Doctor now knows the true nature of Kelsey. Somewhere along this timeline, Doctor learns of Kelsey's true nature and how she could just keep coming back to life over the millennia. She has died a few times before. She's been killed by Theresis in one of the previous Sarkaz wars. So, the sarcophagus is interesting because apparently there's still a functioning sarcophagus that Rhodes Island now has access to in the coming future, which will be Doctor's own personal medic bay. Doctor just retires into the sarcophagus like a fucking vampire and he pieces out to heal himself. That's interesting. Rhodes Island now has access to a sarcophagus somewhere along the timeline.
I can hear the crystal cluster surging. The Originium tides will soon dissolve me. Don't give me that look. take care of Amia and the city. We can continue to work on those problems the next time we speak. Well then, see you again, Doctor.
Now this is the line that makes me feel like it's a final goodbye between Kal'tsit and Doctor, and that the Ark is technically the city that she's talking about. So we learned in Lone Trail that the hammer, or like all of the research that Rhine Labs were doing with sending Kristen into space, Nasty was working on a prototype for an aerial mobile city. And she specifically mentioned that mobile cities don't just need to crawl, maybe they could fly. So somewhere, somehow, Rhodes Island, Rhine Lab and Nasty might be involved with the creation of the Ark to create an aerial mobile city that allows space travel. And that will be the city that allows Amia, the Doctor, and the rest of humanity to escape the fate on Terra. Those are just the implications I get from reading this voice line. It definitely reads like a final goodbye, that Kal'tsit stayed on Earth to deal with all the Originium on Terra, probably in an attempt to save it or study it even further. I don't know if she has a way to get back to the Ark, but it definitely feels like a long distance goodbye. So Amia and the Doctor are on the city taking care of it, while Kal'tsit as a remnant, and remnant means, what does remnant mean again? Last survivor? Remnant kind of means last survivor, so she probably stays behind on Terra to deal with things. Interestingly, we don't know if Monster stays behind with her, because we got some interesting implications with Kal'tsit's module, that Monster might eventually grow their own voice, and we'll see that with the other voice lines. Monster might eventually separate with Kal'tsit, and we're getting some teases that the Kal'tsit that we see in Endfield might actually be Monster. We'll get there. The green cat girl that we all thought was one of Kal'tsit's clones in Endfield, it might actually be Monster. So let's listen to her idle voice line.
Scanning. The atmospheric oxygen level is still decreasing. No. Let the doctor rest. I will check it out.
So the oxygen in Terra is running out. So time is definitely running out for Terra. Just reinforcing the fact that the world has little time left. It's also reinforced in Lone Trail, speaking to a certain character that they meet. So there's a coming catastrophe, coming calamity. Not just a catastrophe. Catastrophes are weather events. They're weather disasters. This is an apocalypse. A coming apocalypse is coming to Terra. The Doctor and Kal'tsit are the two most important people to stand against the apocalypse and save humanity. It involves the Ark, it involves Amia leading humanity and uniting the peoples. And apparently, Kal'tsit stays behind.
The anti-Originium communication lines have been activated. Signal received. Come in, Babel. This is Kal'tsit. Exploring the former Lithanian region as planned. No coagulation point found as of yet. What about you, Doctor? What's the situation there?
So once again, we get another voice line implying long-distance communication between the Doctor and Kal'tsit. Anti-Originium communication, meaning Originium waves are now interfering with communication on Terra. Well, it's already interfered with it before, because the internet on Terra is segmented between different cities. It doesn't cross to each other on Terra. That's why we have messengers to deliver messages in between cities. But apparently nowadays even long distance communication is interrupted by so much Originium. And apparently Babel is back involved in the story. I don't know if they reestablished Babel somewhere along the timeline, but Babel is back in the fray. Kal'tsit exploring the former Lithanian region. Germany apparently got devoured by Originium in the future. Rest in peace, Germany, I guess. Rest in peace, Witch King in the towers, I guess. So the world is fucked. Arknights Germany is gone. It's all Originium crystals now. Let's listen to the battle record voice line.
Experiences from before the crystallization age are for reference only. Do not overly rely on them.
The term crystallization age is very interesting because that implies a pre-crystallization age, which should be current Arknights right now. When or where the crystallization age starts for Arknights is probably the beginning of the final arc of this game. It's probably gonna be ways off from now. Who knows how long it'll be until we get there. So the crystallization age starts when the Originium apocalypse starts. That's gonna be an interesting storyline when it does start. Honestly, I'm very hyped. This skin, all this skin is doing is making me absolutely hyped for the future of the main story of Arknights and Endfield, because it connects so much with Endfield, our expansion into the universe with Lone Trail. Arknights is built differently. The lore building, the lore and world building of this game is built differently. So anyway, we have our promotion voice line.
Formalities are no longer necessary between you and I. You need only keep your promise to maintain the Ark's safe course.
So we got some more long-distance communication between Kal'tsit and the Doctor. The Ark's safe course reinforces the idea that the Ark might be an aerial mobile city that is now traversing the universe and the cosmos to reach whatever habitable planet we're now planning to colonize, aka Talos 2. For sure. It's gotta be Talos 2, right? If they somehow bring back Rhodes Island and the Ark into Endfield, I'ma lose my shit. Let that be an explorable city. Rhodes Island in the future somehow makes its way as an aerial mobile city all the way to Endfield, Talos 2. And then it's an explorable city, that would be peak. Let's listen to Promotion 2.
Monster, these tattered lands will one day need you more than ever. Now, with your own voice, say hello to the Doctor.
Now this is a voice line that could be read in so many different ways. Monster now apparently has a voice, and that they could say hello to Doctor. Interesting. So, what would Monster look like? Would they look like Kal'tsit? Would they look like a certain green look-alike that we saw in the Endfield trailer? A lot of things to think about, but apparently Monster can now act independently of Kal'tsit sometime in the future. Did we check out Promotion 1?
Formalities are
No, yeah, we did check out Promotion
between
1.
You and I. You need only keep your promise to maintain the Ark's safe course.
So, if the green cat girl in Endfield turns out to be Monster, are we gonna have Rule 34 of Monster eventually out there? I don't know. I'm not gonna think about it. So anyway, let's listen to the added to squad voice line.
I will correct any flawed decisions that occurred during exploration.
So Kal'tsit's still exploring the remnants of old Terra during the crystallization age. Maybe trying to find some way to cure the planet or some sort. Who knows?
Mark the area you need explored. I will arrange for the rest.
And then all of these just the combat voice lines that she eventually has. Not much more lore drops to glean from these.
All units, double check the status of your anti-originium equipment.
It definitely seems like sometime in the future, Originium gets to the point where you can't be fully exposed to it, and it'll be dangerous to go out into the wilderness without any anti-originium equipment. Kal'tsit doesn't seem to be needing any of those because somehow she seems a-okay with that originium halo floating above her head. Something is definitely different with this Kal'tsit. We just don't know what yet.
What's your plan?
I don't know what my plan is. Our plan is apparently to build an ark and escape Terra.
I will synchronize the battlefield data. Executing battle plan. Monster.
And not much else after that. All of these are just battle voice
Never
lines.
Let your guard down before the enemy. Suppressing originium activity.
Mostly involving stuff around suppressing originium, apparently.
Follow my orders, monster. On my mark. Prepare to counterattack. How much time do we have left? I see. I trust your judgment.
Once again reinforcing that there is not much time left on Terra. We're running out of oxygen. The lands are getting devoured by originium. Deferring to the doctor on what we must do.
All units, proceed according to plan. I will hand the report to the doctor. You should be more careful. We can't afford even a single loss.
Apparently every life is going to be precious in this crystallization age of Arknights. How much of humanity survives the originium calamity? It's too soon to tell. But the Ark might be the last bastion of humanity, where all the surviving peoples have to gather to escape, eventually into Talos 2 Copium.
All personnel, retreat to safe zone. Comm permits are transferred to you for now. I will sort out the situation before us. The facilities are fairly well maintained.
And then we have the tap voice lines.
Seems you are still very fond of your little tricks. Have you ever imagined a future where only you remain?
Yeah, that's depressing. Okay, Kal'tsit. Okay. Are you gonna be the last person left on Terra after everyone leaves? Are you gonna stay behind just to find a way to permanently cure originium and oropathy? Because I guess you guys found a way to suppress the symptoms of oropathy. Since, as we learned from the other voice lines and from Lone Trail, since we finally broke through the barrier of Terra, originium can now spread to the entire universe. So even if the people of Terra find another home in Talos 2, originium can follow them, and it will follow them. So eventually, there still might be need of a cure. So I think that's why Kal'tsit will eventually stay behind on Terra. That's my assumption. And then we have the title.
Arknights. There is still much we can do, Doctor.
So yeah, there we go. So far, Kal'tsit's Remnant skin has so many lore reveals, lore drops, lore bombs on the potential future of Arknights. I'm guessing we could assume that in some way, somehow, it definitely happens that some sort of originium calamity will eventually take place on Terra. Time is running out as it's been reiterated in Lone Trail. Time is running out. The people of Terra have to set aside their differences, deal with the Seaborn and demons once and for all. Then we could finally focus on the real threat, which is the coming originium apocalypse. Technology has to advance. Nasty and Rhine Labs has to develop the prototypes for the first aerial mobile cities. And somehow they gotta get off their they gotta get their asses off of Terra and make their way to another habitable planet like Talos 2, which has its own unique form of cancer in the Blight. So there's that. Honestly, Kal'tsit's Remnant skin, I didn't expect it to have this many implications. I think it's very interesting regarding the future of Arknights and the universe of the franchise as a whole. Whether or not this bloodline of combat skin can be directly applied as canon remains to be seen. We have a few outliers just like Scotty's Bloodline of Combat skin and Angelina's VOC skin. That might hint that this might be an alternate universe, but as of now, we're taking this at face value. A lot of interesting reveals that line up with a lot of interesting reveals that line up with many things in Lone Trail. So there's that. Here's a short discussion video on... This was just a short discussion video on my thoughts and potential implications on how Arknights could actually lead into Endfield moving forward. If you friendos have your own theories and thoughts about the skin, or maybe your own Lone Trail thoughts, leave your comments down below. But until next time, my name is Nez and thanks for watching. I'ma see you all next time. Bye, friendos! Goodbye. 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 Anyway, that's just a short discussion on Kelsey's skin. We're not really gonna get into a full Lone Trail review just yet. I'm saving that to when the event is nearing its end, so that everyone can have time to read the event. I just sprinkled a few key details around the stream just for context. But anyway, today has been a good stream. A lot of people showed up. Had some good discussions about Endfield and the future of Arknights. A lot about character design and whatnot. Speculations about Endfield, Lone Trail. Not really Lone Trail. Kelsey's skin. So far, that should be it for me today, friendos. It was a good stream. I'm a peace out. Thank you to everyone that stopped by. But once again, my name is Nez and thanks for watching. I'ma see you all this weekend for when we review episode 14 of Perish in Frost. Maybe we'll also be reacting to some technical test streams of Endfield and see if we could make some content out of that. But until then, I'ma see you all next time. Bye-bye, friendos!